Well, hello there. Welcome back to my channel. Today, it's going to be a little different than what we usually do. I'm still going to make some art, but I'm going to give you a little backstory. So, recently, I got a good commission, a nice special commission for me, because it was of one of my childhood heroes. So, my cousin, she commissioned me to do some paintings, little small, I think they're 5x5 paintings of her father. And he was one of my childhood heroes. Growing up, him, a cousin of mine, and my father. But as you know me, my father passed away when I was 11. So him carrying on the hero-ness even after my own father's passing was special to me. Even if he didn't even know it. Originally we started off with 12, but then for other reasons we cut it down to 5. So these 5 paintings are what we ended up with. So here we go.
All right, so we're going to start with our sketches. We're going to make sure our proportions and placements are correct. So I'm going to do this for all 12 because this is before we decided on 5 instead. And so that's what we're going to see right now. So for this one was really fun to make. I really enjoyed the vintageness of it. It's him when he was a little kid, and so it was kind of grainy like an old photo is. The colors are a little, not really washed out, but they're different colors, stuff that we don't usually see these days because everything looks more either bright and colorful or like, you know, black and white or something like that. These are like more muted, but they're also more kind of like the weird side of the Pantone cards or something like that. It's very nice, good to work with. And then for this one right here, I was really excited to work with because the fur he was wearing, I was excited to paint that, and it also reminded me of like Wolverine or Sabretooth. And so to draw him as like and kind of a style that I would draw a superhero with was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed that part. Yes, it was just cool pictures all over. And of course the hands, it gave me opportunity to work on my hands because like many artists, I am terrible with hands. But you know, get the point across somehow. This one had a really unique color scheme to it, so I decided to keep the color scheme when I painted it. It was a nice like aqua blue, and it was pretty good. Nice contrast with his skin. And here are all 12 all 12 sketches. Not being paintings yet. There's a couple that I really struggle with. Yeah, I really struggle with some of them, like that blue one right there. Whew. But yes, they were all fun to make. The top one I also struggle with, as you can see, erase things, but I ended up not picking that one anyway. This first one was a good one to get a feel of how these little paintings were going to be. And so, yeah, it turned out well, I think. The colors were a little, I changed the colors a little bit because I was kind of working with a limited color palette, but I think I made it work. Used the yellow instead of like a whitish blue as it was. I wanted to keep them all warm so I can do a blue background so it can look like he's coming closer instead of further back. Doing the fan merch that he had on was it wasn't challenging, but it was harder than usual. It was something that I'm not used to drawing, stuff like jerseys and the cap, or I'm not used to painting, so that was a good challenge for me when I was doing this one. Also the hand, of course, but I think the hand turned out, this might have been like not the best hand, but I think it still looks like a hand instead of like some sausages or something like that, because everyone draws those one hands that look like either hot dogs or like the big Polish sausages, but I think these look like fingers, like they should. Keeping the figure warm, I think, was a very good choice I made, because I wanted some contrast in it. So this is Dremel. He is my cousin's father that I used to see growing up. He was a very loving father, and he took care of his kids well. And something happened between him and his wife, and they ended up being separated. But he remained a good father, and he remained very loving towards his children. He even remained loving towards us, their cousins. And he never seemed like he was just putting up with us. He never seemed like he was just here for his kids. He was loving toward all of us. And this was something that was really special to me, especially in the neighborhood that we grew up in, where men didn't really take care of their children. They didn't really want to take care of anything. So he was a good example for me, and he really showed me what really a man was, even in the midst of relationship problems and things like that. He still remained loving, and he was patient, he was kind, all the things that a man should be toward his children and toward other children. And so this is why I was so excited to do this project. So it was him, my father, and my cousin Kelvin. They were all really good examples of men in my life. First-handedly, I've seen. And so yeah, I was very excited to have this opportunity to actually honor him in a way and say thank you for everything that you've done, because you was one of my role models growing up, and you still are. And I'm glad you like these, because we already talked on Facebook about it. He liked the paintings, so I'm glad he liked them. So for this one, I ended up working more on it later, but I wanted to get the base, like the face and stuff, down first. When I first started, my drawing was bad, so I ended up fixing the drawing as I painted more, which that's okay to have, as long as you can adapt and you can work on what you need to work on, get the finished product to be decent. Should be fine. At least you know where you started and where you should be. So I wanted to keep this one simple at first, but I thought it looked too simple. So then later I added in more details and everything. So here we have me picking out which ones I want to actually do. And so I end up picking these 5 instead of the ones I was going to do before. And because I thought they kind of fit every aspect of his life. So we got the child one, we have the one where he was like maybe in graduation or something, and then we have a few where he was an adult. And so this one was the fun one. So I can see I usually start with their faces, because getting that part right is the most important part, and I want to get the most important part right first before I do the rest of it, because the rest is kind of background stuff. But the main piece is the part that I want to tackle first, because if I do any of the other stuff first and I go to that part, it probably won't look as prominent as if I did the face first. So as you see the big hat and the striped shirt. So for here, I start with a mid tone for the color, for the skin tone, and then I make it darker, and then I make it lighter, and then so with those, so I use like 3 brushes, and then I go in with the darks, and then I go in with the lights, and then I mix them in between, whichever need which part. So I don't think Dremel actually knew how much he influenced me by, being who he is. But I hope you know now. Sometimes in life, when we just do whatever we do, we're going to influence people regardless of if we know them or if we chose to, anything like that. Say I walk down the street wearing cowboy boots. Some kid's gonna see me and be like, wow, he can wear cowboy boots? Maybe I can wear cowboy boots. If they like the style anyway. And then that will be influence right there. Or however you choose to act in a situation is a way that you can either make or break someone's ideas. So say I get punched in the face and a kid is watching me. I can either A, choose to walk away, and then that kid can be like, okay, this person just walked away. Or I can punch back, and then that can be like, oh, so that if you punch somebody, you might get punched back. Noted. Or it's all about your choices in life and how you act and how you react and how you are to people, and and that's how you will influence people around you. Being a voyeur that I am, that's how he influenced me. And he also showed me Crash Bandicoot, which was pretty cool game. But yeah, whether we like it or not, the choices and the things we do and make will affect other people. So you'll be a role model whether you like it or not. Because I know when I was younger, I didn't want to be a role model because I didn't think that I was any role model material. But whether I liked it or not, I'm gonna model how to live for somebody. So you might as well just do right and be the best person you can be. So I think drawing the glasses on most of these pictures was one of the hardest pieces for me. I don't know what it is with glasses, but they're so thin, and since I was working 5x5, I didn't have brushes that thin. I mean, I have thin brushes, but ooh. So getting in those to get those nice straight lines where it was a bit of a pain to do, but it came here and it went across. But it turned out nicely, I think, anyway. So for my rags right here, I used an old tank top that I had. It's fully cotton, so it's good to have some extra rags when you're around. And there's no need to waste. It had a lot of holes in that. I just decided to use it as a rag. So yeah, if you got old t-shirts, old whatever sheets or anything, just use them as rags. It'll be good for your paints. And you have to throw them in the trash though, because they're done with after that. So for a lot of these, I don't think I got the face quite right, but I got it to a point in which I was willing to let it be as it is, as it was. Sometimes you want to avoid overworking by going to a point in which you want to just keep it there. Agree that it is what it is. And it's okay to step back, look at it, and not completely be perfect, because nothing is usually perfect, but it's perfect for you, if that makes any sense. Anything needs improvement if you're working on it, but sometimes you gotta step back and realize that sometimes it won't be perfect, and that's okay. So as you can see, in all of these, I do the face, the skin first, and then I go in with the black. Usually because the black is very overpowering, and black really can mess up your whole painting if you're not careful. That's why I do black by itself. I have its own brush for it, just so I can get into black. And of course I switch around, but black is something that is very dominant in your paints, so you have to keep it separate. Usually I work with paper, because something about the screen of the phone just doesn't do it right. It's harder. I don't know why, but I usually go work with paper. But here I decided to work with my phone, because I had more than one or two references to go off of. So I kept the phone. It worked nicely. It wasn't too hard. But if it was with paper, it would have been a much better time. So my cousin, she wanted these for Jamel's 50th birthday. So happy birthday, Dremel. Know that you are loved, all the way from Illinois. And know that you inspire me to be a good father, just like you. And yeah, keep doing you, keep being cool, keep making them fat beats and taking them crispy pictures. here I decided to draw some more details on his coat. Details on coats and shirts and designs and things like that, they require a bit more, a plan. They require a plan. They require some structure, so that you can tell that it's not just designs floating off of a shirt, that it's actually on the coat or on the shirt or garment, and that it's a part of it, not just a design sitting on top of your painting. And so yeah, that was a good thing here. So here are the last final paintings. I'm pretty proud of them. They were pretty fun to make too, honestly. There were the 4, and we're back to those. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment what do you want to see next. And thanks for watching. Bye.